With the movie Everest out now, let's take a look at 7 things you probably didn't know about the epic real-life drama starring Jason Clarke, Josh Brolin and Jake Gyllenhaal. Before filming began, all the cast was trained in climbing techniques by Guy Cotter, an experienced mountaineer and close friend of expedition leader Rob Hall, who's played by actor Jason Clarke in the film. On the day of the storm on Everest in May 1996, Cotter was climbing a nearby peak as a guide and had been in regular contact with Hall's team on Everest. For Sam Worthington, who plays Cotter in the film, getting to know him in real life really helped his on-screen portrayal. To play Everest guide Scott Fisher, Jake Gyllenhaal's preparation included corresponding with Fisher's children, hiking in the Santa Monica Mountains, and training for high altitudes in a simulator. When Gyllenhaal and co-star Josh Brolin first experienced an altitude of 30,000 feet together in the simulator, they decided to stay in longer than the 10 minutes they planned as they were both feeling fine. But as soon as they left the chamber, they suddenly felt the ill effects of high altitude. Josh Brolin, who plays Texas pathologist and climber Beck Weathers in the film, also prepared by scaling Mount Shasta and Mount Whitney in California and by climbing on the Eiger in Switzerland. As well as spending several days in New Zealand with the family of expedition leader Rob Hall, actor Jason Clarke went climbing with Hall's wife Jan and got to know Hall further still by climbing with Hall's friend Guy Cotter. On top of that, Clarke spent time climbing Scotland's Ben Nevis and New Zealand's Tasman Glacier alongside co-star Martin Henderson, who plays Hall's fellow Everest guide Andy Harold Harris. Clarke really threw himself into the role, listening to interviews with Hall to get his accent right, and even stopped drinking coffee as Hall preferred tea. Shooting at altitudes of up to 16,000 feet on the route to Everest Base Camp was an enormous challenge for the cast and crew. There was altitude sickness to contend with, basic accommodation with no heating, freezing water, and for the actors there was no assistance nor much of the usual help they'd expect. As for the equipment, it was a struggle just to keep the camera lenses fog-free, and that required repeatedly taking them apart and reassembling them. Filming on the Senales Glacier in Val Senales in northern Italy was no picnic either. It took a mix of snowcats, snow quads, snowmobiles, helicopters, cable cars and chairlifts to get the cast and crew and equipment up the slopes. Regular avalanche warnings meant the glacier was often closed, which upset the filming schedule, and cast and crew spent 12 to 14 hours a day for 6 weeks filming outside in temperatures of minus 30 degrees C. On top of that, the crew had to repeatedly dig out and rebuild the set as it got covered in meters of snow by some of the heaviest snowfalls ever recorded in the area. Scenes set at the summit of Everest and many at the base camp were shot in Pinewood Studios in the UK and Cinecittà Studios in Rome. To create the film Snowstorms, very fine salt was used as snow is light, almost sand-like at high altitudes, and huge fans were used to blow the salt into the actors' faces. That meant salt got pretty much everywhere and even wrecked 6 cameras. A big freezer area was also built on set and temperatures were kept below freezing, with real snow also being used to simulate conditions during the storm and give as real a feel as possible of icy beards and frostbitten faces. The filmmakers cast 11 Sherpas who left their Nepalese home for the first time to film in Italy and the UK. The Sherpas also helped ensure the base camp set looked genuine, for example by arranging the kitchen as they would in real life. In fact, sometimes they even used the kitchen to make a traditional dish of dal bhat, a lentil stew with rice. Now let me know in the comments below what's the best movie you've seen that's based on a true story. If you enjoyed this video, do please share it, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe for more things you didn't know, as well as movie reviews and interviews. Thanks for watching, yippee-ki-yay movie lovers!